What you doing? I'm the AC, and this is Otaku News Reviews. This time I'm talking about Fabricant 100, Chapter 5, Ignorance by Daisuke Enoshima. It came out on January 6, 2023, which, first chapter of the year, and on a Friday. Not exactly sure why they did that. I don't know completely what goes on with like the Shonen Jump releases and all that stuff, and why this one is different. I'm sure there's reasons I could have looked up, and I didn't. However, I do know the next chapter, not even coming out on the next Sunday. It won't be until January 22nd, which I did know was Lunar New Year. I don't know what that has to do with anything. Maybe there's significance with the release of manga. Who knows? But let's talk about this chapter of Fabricant 100. It's only 20 pages long, so yeah, still sticking with the shorter chapters. But there's actually quite a bit of new information we get from this chapter. So this chapter introduces us to the anti-Fabricant organization and their base, Mount Smort Safe. I'm assuming that's what it's called. The way the panels worked, it wasn't completely fluid in how they arrange it, but it's just some big triangle building. It looks kind of cool, I guess. More just weird and like, oh, okay, that's some interesting architecture. I don't know. But 100 does joke about taking bodies because, of course, this is a group of people that are dedicated to taking down Fabricants. So this is still part of Luca's plan to try to get Ashibi to join them and do that. He's like, oh, why don't you just go into this room, get patched up? But the room was really just go in this room so you can watch his TV, which I don't know when this is supposed to take place, but yeah, they have a TV that can just look in on Luca, other unnamed guy who never gets named yet. If he goes this entire series without being named, I'll be a little impressed and just a little disappointed because I want to know his name. But it's just them talking to 100, having a conversation, and Shibi gets a spy on it. Through this conversation, it reveals that the way to stop the Fabricants, which was mentioned before, is by beating the first one. Because the first one had, of course, been with the doctor the whole time and was helping him, I guess, create the other Fabricants. Also, so is the one currently stitching up all the Fabricants and getting all the parts. Also, for some reason, I was assuming the doctor was a woman. This, unless there was just a typo or just for some reason missed it, they pretty much specify it. The doctor is a man, but for some reason, I always had a thought that it was a woman, and I think it's because of the silhouette in the first chapter. I'm not sure, but maybe it is a man, and maybe that's who it was in Fabricant 100's flashback or memory or whatever it was. But yeah, so if they can stop the first one, then they can stop all the others from needing to be or having someone stitch them up. And if they can't get stitched up, what's the point of taking body parts? Anyways, a little bit of flawed logic, but I'll get to that in a little bit. But 100's promise with Ashibi was to eliminate them all, and it didn't matter who he started with. That wasn't part of the agreement. It was just eliminate them all. And that's why 100 never said anything to Ashibi that they could just stop number one. However, because of this, 100 still needs number one in order to get Ashibi's blood. However, the deal was she can only get his blood if she kills all of them, which would include one. But the other thing is 100 doesn't necessarily need to follow the agreement. She just needs to wait for Ashibi to turn 18 when his blood would be the most ripe, I guess, the best to take. So it's anything, it's just 100 buying time and making it look like she's working for Ashibi. This opens up like plot holes that might not even be plot holes, but just characters thinking, and you know, not every person or character will have like 100 foolproof thinking. There's flaws in it, and they're all trying to like one up each other. So it's kind of interesting to see where this is going to go and how it's all going to roll out. It also makes me think this is going to be a short series, so I don't know. It's really towing the line. It's like, is this going to be long? Is this going to be short? I don't know. But eventually, Ashibi agrees to join them, but only with 100, and that he doesn't need protection from anyone else. He's wanting, I guess, to still study 100, see what 100's all about, and that's kind of it. So, going back to the thing with number one, so it says 100's the strongest, and I guess that's, you would think a lot of attempts and like each one would be better because you learn more from them. But if anything, that also means number one would be the smartest, because number one is one that went through all this process, seeing all this stuff, and could be the smartest. And that's where it's like a balance of like 100 probably physically strongest, number one probably intellectually strongest. So it would be like a battle between these two in the end, and 100 being smart enough to probably even get an army and get all of them together, especially if they realize there's more. And like I'm still feeling like the last one, 100, should been like modeled after the doctor who was a woman. That's what I always imagined. Maybe my theory was actually wrong, but maybe there was two doctors. And the first one was modeled after the male doctor. There's a whole lot of things I could come up with. That so much stuff. This is probably one of the better chapters, even though like not a lot happens. But it's just like, oh, this is where things are really going to like get twisted and the plot's going to go on. It's like it really makes you think. You know, a lot more excited for it now. Whether it's going to be short or long, who knows? It's just not going to be super long. It might be a little longer than I thought, or it could just end pretty soon. Who knows? I think there's other people that are worried about this same reasoning, and the fact that they're like, oh, you could just get rid of number one. But the other thing, getting rid of number one would not like stop all the other fabricants like they're saying. Yeah, they wouldn't have any reason to go and get more body parts if they can't put them on, but also they could still try it themselves. They might not know how. Maybe number two is out there and will also know how, you know. And also, there's nothing that would stop them from just killing others. You're assuming, oh, we can't get better. I guess there's no reason to kill people. They might still want to just kill people, just to kill people. Or, I don't know, eat them. I don't know. There's all kinds of reasons this wouldn't stop them. So it's definitely not foolproof plan. I don't really see any other way into dealing with the fabricants unless just like not enslaving them, but not necessarily turning them slaves, but you know, getting them into a workforce or being able to use them and stuff like that, kind of like how Shiba uses 100, or just killing them, something like that, or turning them into friends. It seems like they're at least smart enough to know how to do all that kind of stuff. But I don't think killing or getting rid of the first fabricant's going to do anything really, except for like keep them from getting too strong. And I feel like there's always a way for them to figure out how to get strong on their own. So that's why I'm thinking. That's why, it's not going to work. It's not a great plan, I think. Another cool thing that they show off in this chapter is they kind of reference to and show. They don't really show much, but they reference 100's monstrous side, and the org is out. It doesn't really show anything. Like most of, at least upper part of 100 is just in a shadow, but Shibi comments on how, oh, this is like the monstrous side, because he never sees 100 interact with others aside from him. So yeah, it's kind of cool getting to see some of that, and maybe there's a dark mystery even further. Maybe there's more death into 100 that we don't know. We already had that one little memory. Maybe there's more. But that is it for this chapter of Fabricant 100, Ignorance. Like I said, best chapter so far. Really cool. Really gets me excited to see where it's going. But let me know what you thought. What you thought of the chapter, where you think it's going to go. If you think it's going to be shorter, longer series. There's still so much to speculate on, which is cool, which is good for a story. Let me take a guess as to which Fabricant, if they even number them all, they're going to find. Take a guess on what this other character's name is, because it's driving me crazy. I want to know his name is. I don't know. There's just more speculation and guesses. If anything, that's a cool thing about this manga. But yeah, let me know all of that. If you like this, go ahead and like it, subscribe if you want to subscribe. But yeah, if you want to find more of me, you can find me on my other social medias, the AC Stories. Hey, if you want to join my Discord, talk about other manga stuff, all kinds of stuff, there's a little community there. Go ahead and do that. All the links and stuff like that is in the description. It's easy to find, convenient for you. But yeah, that is it. Until next time, I'm the AC. Thank you so much, and bye.